So again, there might have been trades that some people would look at and say I missed, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. Trades that I missed. However, I what I'm looking to do is read the print so I can buy with buyers and sell with sellers and manage my stop effectively. So that was a short opportunity here to go short at 1906.50. Again, trading is all about making conscious, deliberate decisions. And here's what I look at when I look at this. I see weakness at the bid, weakness at the bid. Again, now weakness at the bid. The reason I didn't take this trade up here is because of all this weakness. If price now pops above 06.75, 07, with this weakness down here, I'd feel a little bit better about a long on a retest. And even if this works, and right now this, if I would have popped in at, let's say 670, 625, I'd be up a little over a point right now. But if it bounces off of this level at 675, that this confirms that this level, which we know is a low volume area, is an unfair high in this current market. And so if I get the scenario now where this pops down below IB and it doesn't just pop right back up, we start getting some distribution and volume below it, then I'm taking that short off of this level and looking at my previous day's volume profile. Let me just bring that up for a potential target. Here's 05. If we start building volume around 05, then again, I'm going to start looking at this bottom here saying this is a very real possibility if we start breaking down below that level. So the way I look at it and the decision I made is, this doesn't look done down here, but that there is a better trade for me if it sets up below here to get me to my target and my goal for the day. Let's see. Now, as this failed off of 0650, then this threatens the edge below. Yes, exactly, Wayne. Perfect. Yes, that's exactly right, Wayne. Then you got to look. So you got to look and see what happens at the low. That's exactly right. Exactly. Perfect. Good job. That's exactly the way to look at this. So it failed here at 1906.75 for right now. So what I'm looking for is what happens. While that could have been a great trade and I could have, jumped on, a point and a half, as I did the assessment, there was still a risk. It popped up over this line. There was still a risk that this could just, buyers all of a sudden step in and boom, I'm gone. So the risk was more than I wanted to take relative to where I'm at with my account. And that's just, you see, it's just a conscious, objective decision that I made. And I might have been wrong in that decision. But I can tell you this, I certainly feel a lot more in control. I'm not in control of price movement, but I'm in control of what I do relative to the overall price movement. And if something tells me that there may be additional risk against me, then I have to make a decision that says, all right, I'm willing to take that risk, or that risk isn't worth it. And I said it's not worth it because the way this is setting up, if this is an unfair high, I likely have a really good trade down here on a retest if my scenario sets up. This is a tough morning to trade. I mean, this is tough. So price is going up, but what's happening at the bid? What's happening at the bid in that last bar? I know you know. It's right there in front of you. What's happening at the bid on that last bar? Sellers, right? No sellers. It looked like they stepped away. So when that happens, look, they were just engaged right here. They were engaged here, here. I mean, this is a new low, and look where they were engaged. And here. And now they just step aside. When you see that activity, you have to understand that uh, your risk is increased. So what I want to see is what happens if and when sellers engage. Now, this could just jump all the way to the top of the day, but I'm not taking this trade long off of 1907 here. So that would have gotten me to 500, but it wouldn't have given me a, the run that I was looking for. I would have taken a scale, and actually, probably what would have happened is when I look at this print right here, this print would not have made me scale, and then this print would have made me scale. So what I would have taken on that is maybe 3 ticks, 2 ticks as profit. Again, the better trades for me is once price breaks these IB levels, as long as it remains, we're starting to see a little bit of selling here, as long as it remains a low volume area for the day, then I'm taking a trade off of the retest. Yeah, and that may be been, they see a break of that trend line and sellers just started getting out. So in the whole context of, when do you be patient, when do you execute? For me, now is the time to be patient. I mean, I can tell you that a lot of traders would look at all this, especially if you were looking at some other chart. I mean, if you were looking at it, where's my tick chart? Or volume chart. Look at that. Especially if you're looking at this. I mean, you're seeing buying, 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 price moving up. There was certainly a time in my life when I would say, oh, this is taking off. I want to jump on it. And you can see how price came up. It touched back down to 675 and took off. And that could have been a great trade. But it's given the way price has been rotating around 675, there was nothing up to that point that said to me that there is a higher probability now of 675 working. All right, so I brought this page up. If you look over on the side here, you can see the taper on the volume profile to the upside. What I would be looking for now is momentum dots through 25, 50, and I want to see volume start to build out. What I don't want to see is a low volume area here and then 4 or 5 ticks and price come right back down below it. I want to see volume starting to build out here. So I want you watching right here, right in here, and watching how this this profile builds or doesn't build. I want to see volume. I want to see one of these bars start growing volume. There we go, right there. 1911.50. So I'm going to go back over in the print now. And that might have been it. Messing with these charts here. So I'm seeing volume growing at 1911.75. This is kind of the scenario I wanted. So 1911.25. Remember, I wanted to avoid a scenario where it just went 1 to 3 ticks above IB and then just faded away. So what do I have here? I've got this buying cluster, these momentum dots, and opening swing high right here at 1909 quarter. There's no low volume area here. There's nothing else here. But if there is a trade to the upside, it would be likely right in this area, and that might be it. We'll see. Right in front of this buying. You can see some activity coming back at the bid. That could just be some of the selling from the move higher, though. That's going to break higher. Now, normally I want to look for a pullback, but this looks like it's just going to keep going. Yeah, there it goes. So my expectation is back up to this 1375 level, and we may see opportunity for a pullback there. When I look at the profile now, see how we're starting to get a little bit of volume up here? Got a low volume area here at 1250 and 12. IB high is at 1125, so there could be a trade long right at 12 and a quarter. There's 12 quarter. Almost back down to IB. I did a market order. I should have done a limit order here at 1175. So I'm pretty close to my target today. I see a lot of activity coming back in at the bid. Looks like it's holding right now. Look at that, 32. Just looking to manage some risk here. Okay, well, I did that to manage my risk. So I need to go back and take a look at the profile, see what's going on. I got a little bit of a low volume area here at 1075. See a little buying coming back, but now weakness here, neutral, weak at the top here. The profile certainly doesn't look finished to the upside, but you can see right here at the upside, we've got this volume knob right there. And with price not moving any higher, it was a pretty good sign that we'd see price start to rotate back down, which is why I started managing that trade. Yeah, range extension to the stop side, to the upside. Yeah, Wayne, so this approach gives you an opportunity to scalp as well as take trades, take some trades for longer areas. And again, what you can see I did here is I just, I managed my risk. I took one off at -1 tick so that if I got stopped at my stop, the impact to it, while it took away from my account, it wasn't going to be significant. So now I got to try to figure out what's really going on in this market. So we're back down below IB a little bit. There was just a little area of low volume at 1075. So I would look, if this is truly a low volume area that's going to hold, I would look for price to buyers to start coming in at 11, which is what they're doing right here. And I see weakness here. I just would rather have seen this at 0 down here at 1075. So if I would have seen 0 right here, and this is still a decent trade, right? I said I was looking for buyers to come in at 11. I just want to see a different finish, and I would have looked to get back in long there. But now I have to wait, which is fine. Not every trade is going to work. And like I said before, I manage to what I see in the print. And so when I saw a lot of activity coming back in the bid, I managed my downside. And here we go. So the temptation is for me to take a long right here. Everything I'm reading now says the buyers did step in at 11, and this is now we're likely to see that um, that level higher. So there's a strong temptation for me. The only reason I don't is I do not like the way that this finished 640 by 61 down here. There's 23 by 75 right in front of IB. We're getting strength back at the offer. Like I said, strong temptation to go long, but I just did not like the way that finished. And what I mean by that is I just didn't want to see activity at the offer down here at 1910.75. This activity at the offer right here told me that this was slipping. All right, we're getting some strength back in here. So this would be a trade of faith right now, and not, if I were to go long, this would be a trade of faith, and one that I would have to have more hope in than what I'm reading in the print, because what I'm reading in the print is weakness here, and I would need to be hoping that this trade would work. So we've got that little nodule, low volume nodule at 1075 right there. This is interesting. So what's happened now is, if I look at I'm going to hold off now. If I look at the profile, I had what I wanted relative to the, where's it at? There it is. I had what I wanted relative to the structure of the profile. Low volume area right here. There's another one right here at 975. So what I'm looking for now is, do I have a level that I can lean on, right, to manage my risk against? And there's a low volume area right here, 909.75. Opening swing high is here at 909.50. So that's a level that I could lean on a little bit better. So I would come back over here, and this 1910.50 is the high of the value area. So I still want to go long. I still don't see it finished completely to the upside, and actually the downside doesn't look all that finished either. But I need a level to trade against. And it's one of the things I talked about with low volume areas or key levels. If you wait to trade up against those levels, you can do pretty well, because you can manage your risk. It's like this one. I got in at 12. Better if I would have gotten in at 11.75 and done a limit order. I would have gotten filled, and probably would have managed this trade. Would have taken a little less loss, but it is what it is. So now I'm looking at the profile again. I got what I wanted in terms of the profile shape, and now I'm looking for a level to kind of lean on over here. And maybe this 1910, 1909.75. I've got I don't have the ending that I want yet. See, weakness, weakness, top of this is weakness. Again, it would be another hope trade. And by hope, I mean all I know in the print is that buyers are relenting here. They're getting weak again at the top. They're not re-engaging. Every time this moves higher, they show weakness again at the top. So any long that I have, I'm hoping that they'll eventually get some strength if it comes back up to 1150. And the other thing that goes through my mind is with this kind of momentum to the upside, this is a highly unusual auction after this move higher. So a move back down to top of IB certainly makes some sense, but all the activity at the bid just below IB um, isn't normal if. So here's what I do is in my mind I'm saying, all right, what are these buyers and sellers trying to do? What's the market trying to do, and how good of a job is it in doing it? Well, at the opening of the day, it was trying to go up and down. It wasn't doing a good job either way. Finally got buyers to engage, got range extension above the IB, and looked like starting to build volume above the IB as well. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to bring it higher. Right now, how good of a job are they at doing it? They're not doing a good job. So they were doing a good job. And we even had, I wouldn't say that sellers just stepped aside. I mean, sellers didn't just step aside. They were somewhat engaged. So buyers were making progress and they were doing a really good job. And now they're not. So I need to find an area that they'll start doing a good job again, where they'll start holding or having some conviction that value is higher. And so when price is moving in a specific direction like that, and buyers are doing a good job, and I'm looking at the previous day's auction, I see a high volume area right here at 1250, right here from yesterday, 1250. Above 1250, and this was in my homework, I'm looking for this swing high up around 15 level, right in front of this low volume area, and then potentially up in front of this. Right, so I'm looking for this to go long, and so what I'm looking for is, and I can't find it in here. There's nothing here that would suggest a potential place to go long. So now I got to look in my day here. I've got a little bit of a low volume area right here at 909.75, and I believe we had opening swing high down here, yeah, at 909.50. But I can tell you this is just a little bit of an odd auction.